Good morning. My name is Destiny Vassar and I'm going to discuss with you human trafficking. According to the United Nations, there is between 27 and 30 million modern day slaves. 600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked between the borders every year. Human trafficking has been passed off as a criminal offense when realistically, these men and women are victims. Whenever you go around the local areas in your community where prostitution is labeled, these individuals are not seen as victims that are part of a sex ring, but prostitutes. They are a modern day slavery and is an epidemic that we need to find resources for and provide justice for these victims. Not only is there a significant incarceration rate for these victims, but there's no type of help, behavioral modification, assistance have been provided to these people. I myself, from the age of 13 to 27, was a victim of prostitution. And instead of being seen as that, for these heinous acts that were not voluntary, I was criminalized. I'm going to discuss with you the severity of enslavement and possible resources that you can use that are out there for victims so that way they can become survivors. Sex trafficking is human trafficking for the purpose of sexual exploitation, including sexual slavery. A victim is forced into a variety of ways into a situation of dependency on the trafficker, and then used by the said trafficker to give sexual services to customers. There are 3 defined ways of sex trafficking crimes: acquisition, transportation, and exploitation. This includes CST, which is child sex tourism, domestic minor sex trafficking, which is DMST, or other kinds of commercial sexual exploitation of children and prostitution. Sex trafficking is one of the biggest criminal businesses in the world. Most victims find themselves coerced or in abusive situations, which makes it difficult and dangerous to escape. Traffickers look for weak victims, maybe someone having family issues, or maybe someone in an unfamiliar location. Human traffickers are not always some creepy guy in Europe sneaking behind you with a rag and chloroform. It could be a family member waiting for you to reach the age of majority to mold and groom you. Human traffickers and sexual predators. By making a young child aware of stranger danger or adolescents aware of the possible manipulation tactics, you can prevent future human trafficking. Human traffickers make more daily than what a doctor would. So by victims becoming used to the money that's profited from their victimization, it is hard for them to find a new trait in the working industry and often reflect back on prostitution to continue after they're away from their trafficker. Breaking the Chains is a local foundation dedicated to rehabilitating women of sex trafficking. Breaking the Chains has provided hope, healing, restoration to survivors of human trafficking. Services provided are addiction treatment, case management, long-term housing, life skill workshops, job training, legal advocacy, supportive counseling, survivor leadership, therapy, traditional housing, and volunteer opportunities. We do need help to keep these funding sources going. There are still victims out there that need saving. For $50 a month, if you go to the Fresno Breaking the Chains website, you can help stop human trafficking. In conclusion, human trafficking is at an all-time high. Without knowledge, You don't have the power to advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. An important factor to remember is that human traffickers are not always strangers. They can be friends or family. Traveling is not only overseas, but it can be done locally. And there's an epidemic here in Fresno. There are limited resources to those who are victims of human trafficking. But with your help, we can make them survivors, like myself.